It is March 25th, 2021. We're here on the rooftop of the property at 5972 Avenida Chamnez in La Jolla, California, 92037. So we're here on the rooftop of the house. On the right side of the property, when you go on the rooftop, this is the master bathroom. We have our original 2-inch copper vent pipe. We're going to go down this vent pipe. We may have to pull back and clean off some of those cobwebs that get on there. But we're first going to push there into the cast iron sewer main here. So we're now in the sewer main, but as you can see, there definitely is some debris. So we're going to pause the video for 1 second. Okay, so we've cleaned off our lens and pulled back just to show the transition again from the copper. Now we're in the cast iron pipe. Here's where the toilet dumps in on the upper right side of the screen right there. That's the T-junction. We did flush the toilets, all three that are here at the property when we first arrived, because it is vacant. So we do that to see if there's any pockets or areas that are holding water not draining out properly, and an area that would have what we call a sag or a belly. So here's our transition from the vertical into the horizontal. So we're now in the horizontal sewer main. A little bit of standing water, and sometimes the standing water can be because with cast iron you get little scale and deposits built up in the system, and that will essentially act like a miniature dam and cause it to hold up. So it's just a little tiny one right there. You could see was pretty negligible though. Here's the little turn on the system that we have. Now continuing down the line. Everything is still original cast iron. Looks like we have a T-junction right there where we have something dumping into the system right there. We're going to pull back for just a few feet right here. The prospective buyer and contractor want to locate the path of the system. So before we continue down the line, we're going to pause and locate where this is at. Okay, so we located this line, and actually off this master bathroom, it actually goes through the bedroom and heads actually towards the laundry. So we have some green tape marked on the tile floor in the little laundry room when you leave that bedroom, and the pipe is a little under 4 feet deep. So it looks like this T-junction that we see come in the top of the pipe right there, that's actually where the laundry utility sink dump into the system. So there's a possibility we're going into the backyard. Here's the other T-junction right there. Looks like we're still headed straight out. So it would appear that we may be in the backyard. So we're going to go ahead and just push a few more feet forward here. We're going to run some water to clean off our lens, but we're also going to go ahead and pause to locate. Okay, so we ran some water to clean off our lens here. Now this cast iron pipe is 22 inches deep. It's in the backyard, essentially a little bit of the side yard, but headed toward the backyard. We have it marked with some chalk on the large concrete pad area there. So as of right now, it looks like it might be headed straight out and head down the canyon and then through an easement to get to the next street that is below this house when you look across or down the backyard. A bit of cobwebs there. Those are not roots. A bit of debris there. Doesn't look like roots though. Little tiny pieces there. Those could be roots at 59 feet. A little snapshot photo of this. Yeah, a little bit more tiny ones there. Looks like these could be some small fine roots trying to get in the system. And it looks like right here we have a T-junction. It might just be a turn on the line, or it could be the other side of the house, maybe picking it up over here. We are not sure. Well, we're going to put another camera in from that other bathrooms that are on the that are back to back with each other on the other side of the house. But we'll go ahead and try to push down this portion of the system here first, just to see. So you can see some very small, fine roots right there on the upper right-hand side. So they're small, they're tiny, but they are starting to invade the line. So basically, it's getting to be the end of the cast iron's life. They don't need to be cleaned up, what we've seen so far yet, with any machining of hydrojetting or cabling, but it is getting to be the end of its life. A little bit of a area holding some water right here. Some more pockets holding water. Unless somebody's running some water, we're into a big area here that's holding water, and it's getting a little difficult for the camera to push through. Okay, there we go. There's a turn on the line. So part of that was a fitting, kind of typical that right before an elbow like this, the way they lay the pipe, it'll get like that. So not great. But as you can see here, we've got quite a few feet here as we try to back up through this slowly. About a 3-foot run at least that's holding water, so we're almost getting to 4 feet maybe to back this up. So yeah, we're pretty close to 75 feet, and then try to push through this again and get close to 80 feet before we get to that turn where we come out of the water. There we go, there's the turn at almost 80 feet. So we got a 5-foot section, and then at this 80-foot mark, we're assuming this makes this dive and heads down. It's a really hard turn. There's a T right there, so that could be a clean out that was installed, may not be brought to surface. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just pull back to before this turn right here at this 80-foot mark. We're going to go ahead and pause and try to locate, see if this is down the hillside or high enough up that we can reach it. Okay, so we've located this last horizontal run right here, right before this big turn right here. And this is actually on the far right side of the property as you're facing the house. So the neighbor to the right, again, as you're looking from the street, it's actually headed that direction of the backyard towards a mound that separates the two properties. So we're almost 8 feet deep because of the big hillside that's built up over there with the landscaping. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause and pull back about 10 to 12 feet just to get another specific location so we can mark it. Okay, we have located this in the backyard, and where we're at here is under a bunch of bushes, and it's a little over 4 feet deep. So we've marked it also with some paint. So it is headed into the backyard and then makes a right turn headed towards the neighbors. So before we can try to continue down this line, which we may not be able to continue past with all these turns, we're actually going to move to the other 2 bathrooms first, because we need to see if that comes stays within the foundation wall or also goes into the backyard and enters into the line from the one T-junction turn that we saw. Okay, so we pushed right down the vent here from the 2 bathrooms here that are on the left side of the house. We're just coming back in reverse by a few feet. Again, we had to do the same thing, rinse it off with water. So right here is our transition into the horizontal. And we'll now continue down this line. And we'll eventually pause to locate this. This is a little bit smaller camera to get through this piping here the view is not as crystal clear. It looks like we do have some roots intruding possibly in the line right here. Try to rinse off our camera lens here. Alright, so just about 10 feet in, it looks like we may have a bunch of roots intruding, which we do, as you can see, quite heavily in the pipe right there. So, this cast iron has failed right here. So we're going to see where this is at and the path of the pipe here. So we'll go ahead and pause to locate this. Okay, so we've gone ahead and flushed the toilet to try to help clean off the lens a little bit. But these roots are in the cast iron pipe. It is inside the house. The line is about 45 inches deep, so it's 3 feet 9 inches deep. We've marked it with some green tape under the carpet, so it's in the little hallway closet area. And we're going to continue down this pipe here. Our view is still a little bit obstructed here, but it looks like this is a straight shot. Looks like we may have some more tiny roots here. We're going to have to go ahead and pause the video. This camera's lighting is just not giving us a good enough picture here, so we're going to pause and swap out cameras. Okay, so what we've done is, before we actually push this other camera into the other two bathrooms that we just left, this camera that was already on from this side of the house going into the backyard, we went ahead and pushed it a little bit further. We currently have water running in the bathroom and laundry. Before we pull this out, we wanted to try to see if we could get this farther down the line and then verify if it's going to the street or down the hillside where we can see a manhole, but we don't know if it's a storm drain or a sewer. So we're just trying to locate this. So we pushed into what appears to be a larger pipe, possibly 6-inch, possibly clay. So the water's running right now, and we can't really get any further, unfortunately. So we're going to slowly pull back on the line to see from the cast iron pipe at the T-junction where we've gotten to. So we'll pull back out here slowly. So you can see this is a larger pipe right here. Appears to be just turn right there. There we go. And there is our drop in. There's all our water. So got through there, and we were able to make that turn right there into this clay pipe. So let me go ahead and try to see if we can locate this. So we're going to pause the video one more time. Okay, we shut the water off, and so you're just seeing a little bit of tiny residual finishing up. So we don't think this is a shared line in any way, possibly with a neighbor or even from somebody across the street. And then, but we're going to pull up just a little bit more right here. Yeah, we already come up to that vertical. So let's see if we have water running through there. Actually, we do have that water running through. That appears that it is coming from a neighbor. So we thought that might be our residual because we had all of the bathroom and utility running, but it's actually not running. You can see as we back up the vertical here, we have no residual really coming down the line. Back this up a little bit more here. There's a little bit coming down, but not the volume that we see when we get to the bottom here. Let me go ahead and show all that's cascading by at quite a good pace right there, as you can see. So looks like that is a shared line when we get to this point. So it does appear to be making a left-hand turn from this hillside in the backyard. So we did pick up a signal very weak going down the hillside, marked it, and that looks like the case. I'm now going to back up this vertical right here, and it's quite deep, as you can see. That's why our signal was weak. So a lot of vertical pipe there, quite deep. Still on the vertical, extremely deep. I'm going to push back down this. We've not seen this before. Yeah, this is extremely deep pipe. Again, you can see all that water that's running by there really rapidly. So this is a go ahead and be a shared system at this point right here. So we're going to back up. We started right around 22 feet on our distance counter because we had restarted our camera. And as we come back up here, we're still coming up a little change in vertical. We're already 10 feet. Here's our turn right here. So about 12 feet deep there. So here's this horizontal where we have marked again in the bushes. This is that one T that we noted, and there's the little clean out version of it. So we're going to go ahead and pause and recheck and mark this location, and that's the path of the pipe though, which we do have painted out in the backyard. Okay, so we do have this marked in the landscaped area that's in between the houses here. The pipe is again almost 8 feet deep at this point because of the big burn hillside, the way the landscaping's set up. And that's right here. This is the horizontal, and then it becomes that 12-foot vertical before it drops into the main. And I believe that is the main for the city from all of Avenida Chamnez, and then it goes down the hillside where we see the manhole, and then to the next street down. So that's the path of the pipe. We're now going to back up a few feet here where we know we saw some of those smaller, finer roots on the system. We also had that turn on the line. We just wanted to back up a little bit here. Okay, there's that turn right there. So we want to go ahead and pause 1 second so we can go ahead and mark this out. Okay, so the pipe here is 30 inches deep right at this turn. So as you go into the backyard, there's a wooden flower bed, and it's pretty much almost underneath the wood little structure that was created there. But right after here, you can see it makes that right-hand turn and then goes to the hillside between the neighbors, and then eventually goes straight vertically down to go down the back huge burn to head down to the, again, the city line eventually, and going down to the next street lower. So we're going to back up on the system right here. So again, I'll look at this pipe one more time. Looks like we just got some very small, fine roots starting to get into there, but they're very tiny. So it's not anything right now that needs any immediate attention again. But we just want to confirm there's not going to be any issues. Somebody moving in and needing to use facilities here. Not seeing any major cracks or breaks. We're going to push through here kind of quickly again. I'm going to go past this 90 one more time here. Here's the 90. So here's some of those fine roots that we mentioned as well. So they're kind of on this horizontal line right here. A little bit of debris got in our lens again. There's some of those small fine roots right after the 90 here, looks like. Paper debris there clogging up our lens again. It's on the upper right of the screen. Okay, well we're going to go ahead and pause the video so we can inspect the other main across the other two bathrooms. Okay, so we're going back down the vent here for the two bathrooms that are on the left-hand side of the house. So we're going to go into this pipe here, and a few feet down, see a little tiny crack and fissure on the bottom of the pipe right there, and a couple little small tiny roots trying to get in. And then as we push forward here a few more feet, we're going to come up on where it's really cracked and broken. There you go. So you can see all those roots getting in from the bottom. So that's the one that we passed and marked already. So they're in there relatively good. We'll take another snapshot photo of that. Definitely should be cleaned up before moving in just to be safe. Let's check if this is a straight line the rest of the way. Those are cobwebs, not roots. Also more cobwebs. Place is vacant for a while. We've got more roots here though. We do have quite a bit right here blocking a good portion of the system. So this whole line needs to be cleaned out here. We're going to go ahead and pause to locate this. Okay, so we've located this pipe. It is in the garage. It is 41 inches deep, so it's about 3.5 feet deep. We've got it marked with some green tape. And so we're going to push through that intrusion with all those roots you see right there. And got some debris on our lens again. Wash that off. There we go. So it looks like this pipe is a straight line and heads to the other bathroom, which is what we suspected, but we weren't sure. Okay, here's our T on the line for a turn. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause for 1 second. We're going to put our other camera down the other bathroom really quick just to see where they do intersect. Okay, so we're going to now continue down this line here. We haven't found any more roots intruding. And there you go. There's our T-junction where the other bathroom ties into this pipe right here. So as we go forward here, we can actually see our other camera that we left inside there, just to go ahead and map that out really quick. So that's where the two lines intersect. So everything is open from there. We just have the two somewhat heavier root intrusions on this piece of pipe that need to be cleaned up. The other smaller roots farther into the backyard don't need to be cleaned up at this time. So that concludes the recording for this property.